What's up, everybody? I didn't even realize I was live there. Trying to get the old phone mount out and going. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try something new today. Let's try the phone mount up here. I don't know how that's gonna work. Nope, it's not gonna work. Doesn't look good. Let's see here. Let's see here. How's that? Good. I don't feel like I'm right up on top of it now. I don't know. It's not in the sun as much either, because I kind of feel like it'd be in the sun over here. What's everybody doing today? Give you a burp right off the bat, since everybody thinks that's gross. Alexandra in the house, what's up? Hello. IKH, yo, what's up? Message retracted, but let me learn to talk. Jerome Jones in the house, message retracted. Says, what's up, big money? Not much. Let's see, Alexandra, how'd you mess up your reefer again? Well, see, the thing is, I don't do nothing to this reefer. This reefer's got a gremlin in it, and I will never shut this reefer off again. It only happens when I shut it off. See who else is in here. BOC in the house. What's up, BOC? Says needs to smoke some reefer. I can't help you out with that anymore. I won't incriminate myself, but I used to be the man to come see. Alexander says, are you hauling a carrier reefer? No, I got a Thermo King reefer unit on right now. I delivered a frozen food load in North Dakota Friday morning, and I shut the reefer off to let it come, get unfrozen so I could sweep it or blow it out with the blower, and it would not restart. So I messed with the thing all day. I took it to Thermo King. Thermo King in Grand Forks, North Dakota said, hey, you need a new HMI computer for the unit. That's $1,200. And I called the owner of the carrier because it's his trailer, and I said, let's see, are you hauling a carrier reefer? Yeah, I don't know. The carrier I'm leased to, it is their trailer. I didn't know if you meant the brand carrier or Thermo King the carrier. So anyway, the guy at Grand Forks says it's $1,200 for a computer. I don't have one. I canceled the load I had. I had a great load set up for out of Grand Forks to Tennessee. Like $3 a mile. It was spot on. It was like $3 a mile. It was a 5-mile deadhead. It was all good. It was all good. And so I called and I canceled it. Well, the broker was not happy, and not in like a bad way. He was not happy because he couldn't find anybody else to haul that load. So he actually called the Thermo King in Grand Forks, got the part number, called the Thermo King in Fargo, and said, here's the deal. They got the part you need, and I will pay for part of it if you will go get it fixed. And so I went down to Fargo, about an 80-mile drive. I drove to Fargo Friday afternoon. I got out at the carrier, or excuse me, what am I talking about? I got out at the Thermo King dealer, went to unhook from the trailer because they want you to unhook from the trailer, so they can pull it in their building. And sure enough, I went to hit the power unit, and I hit the power button, and the son of a gun fired right up. I was like, what am I going to do? So I called the owner of the carrier because, I didn't want to spend his money. I wanted to let him to make the decision. He says, turn it off, turn it back on, make sure it restarts, don't make sure it ain't a fluke. I turned it off, turned it on, turned it off, turned it on a few times, let it set for a minute. Everything's working fine. So back to Grand Forks I went to get this load. I still got the load. Instead of being a 5-mile deadhead, it was like 165-mile deadhead because I drove from Grand Forks to Fargo back to Grand Forks. They added $350 for the load for the load for the 160 miles of BS. So that was my weekend, messing with a crazy reefer unit Friday. The load ran really easy. It was heavy. It was like 41,000 pounds. But yeah, frozen food, it ran fine. The reefer worked fine. I'm sitting in a door right now. I'm trying to get it delivered because I got a really good load lined up next. But it's got to be picked up by 2 o'clock today. So it's only like 20 miles away. Another banger. It's going back to Indianapolis. It's 2 pallets from Tennessee to Indianapolis. 2 pallets. It weighs 1,300 pounds. It's like 35-degree continuous run. It's 2 pallets of produce. So yeah, got a banger lined up. Let's see here. Wild Bill in the house. Appreciate you coming in, Wild Bill. Thanks for coming in. Alexandra, my Thermo King trailer runs solid. Never had an issue with it. Yeah, I don't know. if I had my way with it, I do prefer a carrier unit. Mainly because I feel like every time I go to a Thermo King dealer, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like they don't know what they're talking about, you know, because like this trailer I've got now, when I met Wild Bill the other day, this trailer was giving me trouble about a month ago. I took it over to Thermo King, and the guy said it wouldn't start because of loose battery cables. And I'm like, you don't think that's the first thing I checked when it wouldn't start? Like, you know, I'm not a retard. So, no offense to anybody that is retarded with that. But anyway, yeah, so I checked the battery cables. It was not the battery cables. It's got some sort of issue internally with something. It's got a glitch in the computer system. So I took it over to Thermo King in Grand Forks, North Dakota Friday. That guy said it needed a new computer because the computer was blown. And yet, here it goes again. I go back, I push the button, it starts right up. So obviously it did not need a $1,200 computer. I don't know what's going on with the darn thing. I don't know. Like I said, I won't turn it off ever again. As long as I got this trailer behind me, whenever I get unloaded with this load here, you know, I'll just up the temperature to whatever the temperature is outside and put it on start and stop. I would much rather burn a gallon or two of fuel than to be stranded with a trailer that's not working. Because up in Grand Forks the other day, I actually was going to take a dry load down to Arizona because, you know, I figured, well, hey, you know, I called Arizona the Phoenix. I called the Phoenix Thermo King, and they had the part. So, and the other day with the Thermo King in Fargo, like the Thermo King in Grand Forks couldn't get a hold of one person. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so the Thermo King in Grand Forks couldn't get a hold of anybody at the Thermo King in Fargo. Like, I called their number from Google and couldn't get through. But I'm like, dang, you know, like, y'all are like sister, you know, y'all are the same company, really. Like, you don't know anybody's number there other than the number, like the, you know, the 1-800 number. So, I don't know. I feel like maybe they're not the most organized. Whoop, phone's falling off the windshield. I kind of figured we was going to go through some stuff like that. I'm trying a new mounting location. We'll see how it holds up. I don't know. It may fall again, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Thermo King, the service part of it gets me. You know, like as far as the unit, it runs fine. You know what I mean? Like this load was negative 10 degrees, and I mean, honestly, the thing ain't even been running hard to hold negative 10 degrees. Like, I got nothing against the Thermo King units themselves. It's the service department that gives me a hard time. Let's see here. Who else is in here? Wild Bill, I have friends in Valley City, North Dakota. Alright, I have no idea where Valley City is. Of course, I don't know where hardly anything is in North Dakota. I know where Fargo is. I know where Grand Forks is. That's about the only two I really know. Jeremy Griggs in the house. What's up, Jeremy? Says the shop at the Petro in Atlanta has to be the worst. They were hard to deal with. Replaced a part on my truck Friday and forgot to hook it up. It was a mess. Yeah, that's always fun, man. Like, repairs on the road are rough. I'll give you that, man, because, you know, like, I mean, you're at the whim of luck at that point, you know? Like, who knows if they know what they're doing? Who knows if they, you know, like, it really sucks. Like, I try to get so much done when I'm at the house because I know the people that work on the truck, you know, at the shop near my house. But when you're out on the road, who knows? Who knows? Let's see. DIY Semi's in the house. What's up, DIY Semi? Says good morning. Good morning to you. Valley City is 60 miles into the state. Okay. So I guess past Fargo, I guess. Going that way. So yeah. I don't know if I like this mounting location where I got the phone at. It's kind of too far away, to be honest with you. But yeah, I got a frozen food load. I'm here in Tennessee. They need to come on and get it done, because get me unloaded. Because like I said, I got another load already lined up, and that broker on that next load, he is a worrywart. He's already calling, you know. Where you at? What are you doing? You know. What's your mother's maiden name? What's your... Alright, we got to reconnect here. IKH says, I got a question. Well, let it rip. Alright, let's see here. Got a... IKH says, I got a question. So everybody listen up. We're going to try to... may need some help with it. Says... Mr. IKH says, which load board would you recommend for a motor carrier starting out? All of them. I would get all of them you can get. You know, depends on what you want to do, depends on what kind of trailer you got. For the most part, you know, I would say DAT, not sponsored by any of these guys. I'd say DAT right off the bat. It's the biggest. It's got the most as far as drive-in and reefer and stuff like that. If you're going to do a flatbed or an open deck, I've heard truck stop is better for that. Yeah, van I would do, you know, get a hold of DAT. I would do JB Hunt. I would do... I mean, just sign up for as many as you can. Boy, YouTube is not happy with me today. I don't know why this thing keeps locking up like that. I thought the phone may have got hot. That's why I got it out of the windshield and put it back over here where I normally put it, so I can have an AC vent blowing on it. But yeah, that's DAT's kind of the standard. You know, but you may want to try some, you know, I would definitely try some of the others, because some of the best loads that I get don't come off like, you know, you know, I guess you call it a public load board. It comes off more of a private load board. You know, so yeah, get a hold of these carrier load boards. You know, Convoy. I've never really used Convoy, but you could do Convoy. I don't know. Let everybody else. Let's see. It says, how much do you think incandescent gross? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell somebody, like, you know, what you can gross and what you can make without knowing the operation. You know, depends on where you're running at, depends on how much you're willing to run. You know, you could gross anywhere from 0 to Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's the limit? I mean, the best of the best, maybe 15,000 a week, but those weeks aren't going to be, all the time for sure. And you're probably more like, I don't know. As far as driving, just depends on how much you run. Uh, I mean, I haven't ran dry van in so long. As far as like spot market dry van, when I first came over here, I was doing some retail that was in some dry van, but that was all contract, so that's hard to, that's hard to compare. But I don't know. It just depends. 2,500 miles from Texas. Okay, yeah. There again, like maybe stay out a week or more, have family. Yeah. Um, I don't know. You'll just have to you'll have to research those lanes. I don't want to. I'm not that familiar with dry van rates, to be honest with you. I don't even look for anything like, unless like the other day when the reefer unit was down, I looked for a dry load. But for the most part, unless I'm like in the Northeast where freight's just really bad, I don't even look at the dry van side of things, because most of the time reefer pays more, and I don't want to get stuck in more of a dry van market, with a reefer. You know, I'd rather stick to the reefer side of it. But yeah, I mean, instead of telling you how much I think you could gross, I would tell you, I think the better advice would be just sign up with as many load boards as possible. Get a hold of everybody, and um, try to get signed up with everybody, and what's more good? Learn a couple good lanes. That's the main thing. Like, if you're going from Texas, find lanes that are busy between Texas and wherever, and try to run a lot of out and back. Because what you'll do is, once you, but yeah, that's what I would do. Like, figure out Profit Wages. What's up, Profit Wages? What's up, Cletus? Who is Cletus? Did I miss somebody? Yeah, I don't know who Cletus is. Alexandra, diversified portfolio, your customer base. Yeah. Like I said, as many of those load boards as you can get. That's what I would do. Get it, because the more you expand and learn who's in your area, the more you will, the more you'll see who has what, and who is, like who you want to work with. But yeah, diversify your customer base. Probably gonna hop off here in a second, guys. YouTube is not happy with me doing a live right now, apparently, because it just keeps kicking me off. I did some research on that. That's more of a YouTube end. If you've got decent cell service and it just keeps kicking you off, it's a YouTube server thing. There's too much coming in right now. They can't handle it all. Emilio Con 060. Hey, what's up? IKH, yeah. Philip Trucker says, I had to swap trailers with a super trucker over the weekend. He had the trailer cranked up so high, I would have gone under it if I didn't check. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Having to crank down a loaded trailer it's just as bad as having to crank it up, honestly. It's almost, I've got them to where, like, you could not move them. Like, you would break the arm off of them before it would budge. So yeah. Yeah, I can't stand when people do that. Alright guys, I'm gonna hop off here. I made a short live. I just wanted to check in with everybody, see what everybody was up to. I need to return that phone call I just got and figure out what's going on with this unload. I've been here for about an hour now. And what about for a first truck? IKH says. Yeah, I would recommend something you like. Yeah, Cascadia is a good one if you like Cascadias. My recommendation, Cascadia Evolution. I would get a Cascadia Evolution. I'm not a big fan of just the regular Cascadias. I mean, they're fine, they work, they get the job done, but for a few extra thousand, you can get an Evolution, and you're going to get better fuel mileage with that. David Heaton says, hey Cash, keep crushing it, gotta love the grind. Yeah, that's all I do, run, run, run. IKH says manual or automatic, that's up to you. I think you will get better fuel mileage with an automatic. I mean, that's why they, you know, that's why the companies go with them. You know, you look at the big companies, and I'm not saying that a driver can't get the same fuel mileage as an automatic. I'm not saying they can't in a manual, but I'm going to tell you this: over time, the automatic's going to get better fuel mileage. It just is. You know, like the automatic doesn't have feelings. The automatic doesn't have emotions. You know, it's just the way it is. Like I mean, I try to stay as cool and calm as I can, but I guarantee you, if I had a manual, I would over rev it sometimes, just trying to get somewhere, trying to take off faster. I don't know. I like the automatics, I really do. No, the automatics have gotten a lot better. If you're looking at a Cascadia, yeah, mine's a 12-speed automatic, and what that is, and if I was going to get a Cascadia, I'll tell you what I'd get. I'd be looking for an Evolution, and I would be looking for DD15 with a DT12 transmission, because the DT12, to me, it's like running a 13-speed, and it's like a 13-speed with no final overdrive is basically what it reminds me of. And they come with a high rear end ratio, like mine's a 241 final ratio or gear end. Sorry, let me learn how to talk this morning. Gear end ratio is 241, so it's got a really high last. You know, I don't know why I keep saying last, like it's in the transmission. It's got a really high gear ratio. I want to say rear end and gear at the same time, so I keep saying gear end. But it's got a high ratio in the rear ends. So basically, it's like a 13-speed that never goes to final overdrive. It just runs indirect. For you guys that run 13 speeds, you know what I'm talking about. You never actually go into 13. You just keep it in 12 and run direct with a high ratio. That would be my recommendation. That's what I would recommend. You know, a lot of mechanics, you know, will tell you that the DD15 is a solid engine. I mean, that's why they've been building them for so long. You know what I mean? Like, I would recommend a 15-year model 15 or newer on the engine, because Detroit changed the turbo setup in 2015, and they're better that way. They changed how they changed the turbo itself in 15, and it's just a better setup. The way they got it plumbed in and everything, I would recommend that. 15 or newer, that'd be my recommendation. I mean, you can get into a like 15, 16, 17 Evolution right now for, you know, mine I got in the low 400s. It was like 420,000 miles, and I paid like 37,000 for it. So, and that come from a like a good fleet, you know, not like a super mega, you know, fleet that um, it came from a fleet that is like, you know, they spec the trucks a little better than, you know, your base model. Um, you know, they take better care of their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so keep an eye on that too. Um, let's see. Al John's in the house. What's up, Al John's? David Eaton smashed the like button already. Yeah, I appreciate everybody hitting that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Do that for me. And Al John says, sitting outside the DMV to get my address changed. Oh, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? IKH, but don't automatics break down a lot? No, not really. Not these days. I mean, honestly, no. I had an automatic in 2000. Well, it was a 2007 model, and I mean, I didn't have hardly any trouble out of it. I changed the XY shifter on it when I very first got it. I changed the XY shifter on it. That was like $1,300, but I mean, no, not really. Let's see, mine's an automatic. They all break down. Al John's, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have. It don't matter. I mean, you put a lot of miles on it, you beat the hell out of them. Like, you know, they all have problems, but you know, it's kind of luck of the draw. See here, Big 6134. Hey Cash, what's up, guy? IKH Al Johns, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Al John says, Evo is my favorite truck. I've only driven Cascadias, Volvos, and a shitbag TKW T680. Yeah, that was the place where I got this truck I got now. He had two trucks that came from the same fleet, and one was a 680 and one was a Freightliner Evolution. And I jumped all over the Evolution. The main reason I didn't want the 680, and don't get me wrong, I love Kenworths, but I don't care what model truck it is, Peterbilt, Kenworth, if it's a fleet truck, it's a fleet truck. You know what I mean? Like, they don't build any of them much better than they build the next one. You know, where they might build this one a little better on this part, the next one on the next part's probably going to let you down. So, you know, unless you're buying like a big heavy duty truck, they're all, you know, made out of plastic these days. They don't want to engineer them to last 2 million miles, because then you wouldn't buy a new one. You know, like, that's the thing you got to remember. These big manufacturers, they know what they're doing. They know what they're engineering these trucks for. That's why I say, like this one, I bought this one at 420,000 miles. I paid a lump. Let me tell you, I paid a lump to get that warranty bumped to 750,000 miles. And when this joker gets to about 645,000, I'm going to point it toward the house and I'm going to trade it in. Or 745, is that what I said? I don't know. As soon as it gets right at, you know, 750, I'm trading it. It's done. And I'm not saying a warranty is the end all be all, but let me tell you, my last Cascadia, when I had to have the exhaust system replaced, I sure as heck wish I'd have had a warranty on that joker. But that was at like 880,000 miles, so it wasn't like it happened at a young age. IKH, did you have any issues with your rig or transmission? Not on this one. I mean, this one's been pretty solid. I've had this one for about 70,000 miles now, which is crazy because I've had it for April, May, June, July. I've had it for about 5 months. I put about 70,000 miles on it. So, turning and burning, you know what they say. Now the Cascadia I had before didn't have that many problems out of it, except the you know, the exhaust started giving me problems, then the rear ends went out on it. I mean, you know, the other Cascadia I had, it was at the end of its life, and you know, I should have burned it for the insurance money or sold it which I ended up selling it, just to pay off what I owed on, basically the repairs I had put into it. Because you don't really get the full price of that stuff back when you sell it, Like you put a new set of rear ends in a truck, you're eating a lot of that, So, I mean, I shouldn't have spent that kind of money on a truck with that kind of miles on it, to be honest. Looking back on it, I should have just let it ride. I should have just turned it out. Should have traded it in or whatever, when the exhaust system started breaking down, but you never know, you don't, hindsight's 20/20. When it's happening, you're trying to make the best decision you know how to make, and you run with it. You hope it works, but it don't always work, But yeah, I spent like a ton of money. I spent like $2,500 the first go around with the exhaust system. Within a month, I was back in there spending another $3,000 or whatever. I mean, I had $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 in the exhaust system by the time I sold it. I had new rear ends, which was $8,000. I had new rear ends put in. Not new, but new to me. They came out of a wrecked truck that had about, I think it had about 175,000 miles or something like that on it. I just took them out of a wrecked truck and had them put in, but the labor is where it's at in that. The rear ends aren't even that expensive, to be honest. Well, they're expensive, but it's the labor, for somebody to take all that apart. And plus, my rear ends turned into a milkshake inside the pumpkin. It was just, God, it was a mess of oil and broken metal chips, and yeah, it was a mess. Let's see. Al John's waiting on Marco. Yeah, Marco's heading right up your way there, Al John's. Yeah. Sorry to hear that for everybody. Got another one coming right behind it. It's supposed to be a hurricane in the later end of the week, I heard. So, prayers to all the people in the Gulf. By all means, take care of yourself down there. Give me a call, Al Johns. I'll come get you if you need to get out of there. We'll get a load down there, and we'll get a load the hell out of there. But as I tell people, there's good money in watch for these major weather events, and that's one strategy you can use, is to learn how to operate the weather events and then do so. Because I do that in the winter in Minnesota. Like, if I'm on the way home and there's going to be like a huge snowstorm coming, I will sit there and wait a day on the snow to get there. Everybody else will get the hell out of town before the snow gets there. I will sit and wait on the snow. And once I wait on the snow, man, you get up the next morning and you are like a trucking guide. You can post a truck on the morning of a big snowstorm, or when the weather's like really bad, like -10, -20 degrees. Your phone will ring from like the time you post the truck. Literally within a minute, you'll be getting phone calls. And you just play the game at that point. Pick where you want to go, pick how much you want to make, and hold to it, because you'll get it. But then you're out there dealing with what you set yourself up to deal, so you can't get mad when you're out there slipping and sliding in the snow, and parking lots are half plowed, and I got a snow shovel in my truck. When you're having to dig yourself out and you're having to make your own, hey, you're earning that money. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's a good strategy. Just like with the just like with hurricanes and stuff, there's strategy to that. David Heaton says ran from Cali to Maryland, 30,000 pounds in the box, 8.8 miles per gallon. Hallelujah. Whew, that's good numbers. 2020 Cascadia DD15, loving every minute of it, I'm sure. Yeah, man, when you're popping numbers like that, I did a load out of Southern Cali a couple months ago that went over to Atlanta. It had a stop in Atlanta, then final down in Orlando. But man, I ran that load hard. I ran like 75, 70, 75. I tried to keep it 70 or under. Where it was legal, I might have bumped it up to like 72, but mostly 70 mile an hour the whole way because it was like a weekend run. It was a team load. It was back when we had exempt hours. Yeah, I ran team loads when we were exempt. What of it? But yeah, I think I did about 8 miles a gallon with about the same, about 30,000 in the box. And so mine's a 16, so you're a little bit better aerodynamics with that 2020. And that's probably what I'll be getting whenever I trade this one in. I'll probably go for like a 19 or a 20 model Evolution. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Let's see. So yeah, that's good. That's good ham bone right there. Fuel prices are down. You're getting almost 9 miles a gallon. Lord have mercy. It's like so much profit. There's so much profit. Philip Trucker says avoid the 20. Philip Trucker, avoid the 10-speed autos. Yeah, I'm not a fan of a 10-speed auto. I'll be honest with you. I had a 2007 Kenworth that had a 10-speed auto, and I feel like the 10-speed autos were better back then than the new 10-speed autos. I feel like they've de-evolutioned those. So, yeah. And now it's so common to get, like 12 and, what was it I heard? International. I think it was International is making like a 14-speed auto now. It's pretty common. They're going to, it's going to be a common transmission in the Internationals. I think that's what I heard. Don't quote me on that. I got to go back and look into that some more. But yeah, I mean, you're getting these huge, I would much rather have a 14-speed, than a 10-speed auto. My big thing I like with the DT12 is how it skips gears. Like even with this heavy load, most of the time when I take off, I'm in first gear, but it'll run first gear up to like 1600 RPMs, and then instead of going to second, it'll go all the way up to fourth, and it can pull itself from out of fourth all the way up from like 1,000 RPMs. It'll drop down to, then it'll come all the way back up, and then it'll go to sixth, and then it'll skip go 2 at a time then until it gets to like 10. Then 10, 11, 12, it pretty much always goes 10, 11, 12. But yeah, I like how it skips around. DIY Semi says Evo for max profits. Yeah, I really feel like Evos don't get the respect on the secondary market. So that's where I would swoop in. I did a lot of research on trucks before I bought this one, and I'm amazed at how your standard Cascadia is almost the same price as an Evolution, and I think Evolution's worth the money on the secondary market. So yeah, Evolution all day. IKH, how much is warranty? It depends on where you get it and how much you want and what level you put in for. Most trucks, you can't upgrade the warranty from like whatever it is. Whatever level of warranty was on it. They'll typically extend it, or you can get an aftermarket, or it just depends. But warranties are not cheap these days because of all the freaking expensive parts on these trucks. It's just the way it is. Al John says, I want a Mack Anthem, but I just like how they look. I never drove one or anything. Yeah, those Mack Anthems are sweet as far as looks go. They actually look like the dog on the hood to me. The truck itself, for some reason, it embodies that dog. But yeah, you know, and you're basically riding in a Volvo at that point. So I bet they ride like a dream. You know, like if I didn't get a Freightliner, I'd probably be leaning toward a Volvo. Um, yeah, Freightliner or a Volvo probably be where I'd go these days. And I know there's two guys leased on to where I'm leased on that just traded in uh, their Volvos. I think one of them actually traded in. I know one of them traded in a Volvo. I'm not sure what the other guy had before, but there's two of those new Mac Anthems here where I'm at. So as soon as I catch those guys on the yard one day, I'm going to definitely have to bend their ear a little bit on what that truck's doing, because yeah, I dig that Mac Anthem. Um, so yeah, definitely can't wait to talk to those guys. But the other day I got on the yard and there were two there. They were both there as far as the trucks, but the guys were gone, which sucked because I wanted to talk to them about them. I really like how those trucks look. Um, the Ohio Truckers in the house. What's up, Ohio Trucker? Thanks for coming in. Says I be driving but listening. All right, yeah, that's how a lot of people do. They pop in, say hi, and then they just you know, they let me talk them to sleep as they drive. But no, I appreciate everybody popping in, listening. If you're able to, hit that like button. I mean, if you're driving, I get it. But let's see here. Al John says the second hurricane is going to hit New Orleans about an hour away. Then it's going to hook up and go to Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, Memphis could use a bath. Maybe it'll do some good. I don't know. Al John says, but that's what the Weather Channel said. Yeah, the Weather Channel's never wrong, right? They're batting 1,000 over there at the Weather Channel. So, yeah, I seen that same kind of loop it was going to do, cut back toward Nashville and Tennessee, or Memphis and Tennessee. So I don't know. I hope everybody's safe down there. Get the heck out if you can. Big 6123, if you're stopped and you hit the gas, is there a hesitation in your truck? Not in this one. Not like it used to be in the boy, that 579 I had was like, it was scary hesitation in that, because you couldn't predict it. Sometimes it would be 1 second, sometimes it would be 4 seconds, and boy, I did not like that. You go to pull out on a road and you hit there was plenty of times I hit the accelerator and then I would have to hit the brake because two to 3 seconds went by, you know, and I had to stop and look, make sure there wasn't nothing coming again, because, you know, you can't just pull out in front of people like that. So this one, not near as bad. This one is pretty much, you hit the accelerator, it goes. And that one in that 579 would not skip a gear. It started in second most of the time, unless you was real heavy, then it was starting first. But it went through every one of them. 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you could be bobtail and it wouldn't skip a gear. Like, it was the slowest takeoff as a bobtail. Like, it would literally and it would shake, you know, because it would rev real hard. I'm like, dude, like, we're bobtail. There's no weight back there. It was like the transmission and the engine didn't communicate properly. Let's see here. Paul Harris. What's up, Paul Harris? Thanks for coming in. Everybody hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, think about hitting that subscribe button for me when you come in. We do lives all the time. I do a live about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week. We just talk shop. If you got questions, by all means, drop questions. A lot of knowledge in the house. DIY Semi was in here earlier. BOC's in the house earlier. You know, guys that have a lot of knowledge can help you out with a lot of things. Yeah, so check it out. I do recorded videos. I post numbers every week of what's going on, what kind of money I made, what kind of money I spent. One thing I do want to talk about real quick with that, There's been guys questioning the fuel mileage. That's why I posted that community post the other day about my fuel mileage. So I have no reason to lie. I post my fuel mileage. It is what it is. Like on this load right here, I can tell you right now, I burn 160 gallons on 1,253 miles since I got fuel last. So what is that, like? It's probably like 7.7 or 7.8. I don't know, without doing the math on that. Because 8 would be, yeah, it's just a hair under 8. But, you know, like I'm idling right now, you know. I've been idling on this load. So, I would say, you know, running down the road, probably like 8.2, 8.3, something like that. But then with all the idling, you know, brings it down. But you also got to consider this. When I do my fuel every week, you know, there's people, one guy added it up and did all the math on it. And he said, you know, that if you was paying like $2.30 to $2.80 a gallon for fuel, that would work out. So my fuel average last week was about $2.10 a gallon. But the way that works is my fuel doesn't start on 0 at the beginning every week and end on 0 every week. Some week I buy more gallons than I use. Some weeks I buy less gallons than I use, you know. Like if I start off the week with a full fuel tank, I might end the week with a quarter of a fuel tank. And that means I probably bought like $200 less, maybe $300 less of fuel that week. So in the videos, I always say the fuel I bought, not the fuel I used. So, and if I do say it, the fuel I used, I'll specify, like, you know, whether I bought more or I used more. But yeah, I got no reason to lie to you on fuel mileage. I mean, you know, I got nothing to gain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't put the numbers out there or the fuel mileage out there or anything out there to brag or try to make friends, or, you know, like, I don't care if you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to make friends, but I don't need friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here just for, like, you know, everybody to want to be my friend or respect me or whatever. I do it because I'm trying to help people, and I want them to see a realistic operation of how, you know, it all works. And so, yeah, I got nothing to gain by lying to you. It would be counterintuitive to what I'm trying to accomplish here. Paul Harris is looking at the Mack Anthem and Volvo. It's like the Crown Victoria and Grand Marquis. Yeah, I mean, they're so similar these days. You know, I don't even think Mack, I think Mack got rid of what was it Mack got rid of a couple months ago? I think they were going to stop making trucks with manual transmissions. I think that's what it was. So in a Mack, you can't even order a manual transmission in a Mack anymore, which seems super weird. You would think Mack would have been that one that held on, you know, maybe Peterbilt, but you would think Mack would be up there too, you know, like in people's heads, you know, be like a manual transmission type of truck. I don't know. That new Volvo and that new Mack Anthem, both are very, very good looking trucks to me. I really like the look of that Mack, but I'll be honest with you, if the Volvo got better aerodynamics and better fuel mileage, I'd probably settle with the Volvo over the Mack. You know, looks don't mean that much to me out here, you know, like, I'll put it to you like this. I'm not trying to impress the dudes at the truck stop. I don't care what the guys at the truck stop think, you know. I'm not worried about pulling in and them going, whoo, that's a nice truck you got there, good looking, you know. I'm not trying to get their attention. And when I go home, my old lady can give a rat behind what my truck looks like. I don't even think she could tell you what brand truck I drive. I'll put it to you like that. All she knows is it's white and it's got a number on the side, and she knows that number when she comes to the lot. Because, you know, there's a couple white trucks that park there. But I think that's about all she knows is, and that's about, you know, it's about all the impressing I'm trying to do. Big Nate Jobber, what's up? Says, I drove a brand new 2020 Mack, Abdomen. I think that's Mack Anthem. I'll say Anthem. That was probably one of those talk to text things, man. Talk to text is ridiculous sometimes. A Mac Anthem, it's very easy to back up. It's like a dream. All right, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Uh, Here's what I look for in a truck. Number one, reliability and economy. You know, it's got to get good fuel economy. It's got to be cheap to work on. It's got to be easy to work on. I like working on things myself when I can. Fuel economy, like I said, just ease of use. You know, that's the thing with this Evo. I mean, this thing's got a turning radius like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, it's crazy. And I can hang out the window of this thing, and I mean, it's like, backing is such an easy thing in this truck. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because I drove an International Pro Star, and I don't know what year it was. I don't remember when this was, but it was a loaner truck. I was just moving a trailer around, and man, that thing was hard to see out of. That, like, behind the window, you know, where the sleeper bubbles out, it really made for a weird mirror, like, angle on it. And I don't want to be one of those guys that has to pull in the truck stop and, like, open the door and lean out, you know, because I'd be the guy to get ran over by my own truck. I seen a guy backing in at a truck stop the other day, and he had a massive oversized load. Like, the thing was probably 12 foot wide. And he was backing it in, and he was literally standing on the first step trying to look around the load to back it in. You know, I don't want to be that guy, especially with just a regular, you know, 53-foot box behind me. DIY Semi says still here driving. All right, appreciate you coming in. Trucking Mo Biz in the house says morning. What's up, Trucking Mo Biz? There's a couple channels you ought to go check out right there, guys. DIY Semi, check that channel out. Trucking Mo Biz, check that channel out. Both good channels. No So says new to your channel. I'm going to pick up my first truck. Do you know where I can get temp tags? No, I don't know how that works, honestly. Temp tags, yeah, I don't know. So let's see. The first truck I went and picked up, I don't even think I had a tag on the thing. I drove it from Missouri back to Tennessee. It was like 300 and something miles. I called and put insurance on it, and I drove it. So yeah, I don't know about temp tags. Let's see. Paul Harris says, or is it Hillbilly Excel? Could be. DB215, what's up? Appreciate you coming in. There's another channel to go check out, DB215. He knows what's going on. Let's see. IKH says, what to look for when buying a new rig? Oh, that's tough, man. Buying a new rig, I tell people buying a new rig is like a scratch-off lottery ticket, man. You really got to buy it before you know what you got. You know, I mean, you can take it and have it inspected. You can take it and have it dynoed. But let's be honest. You're probably not going to know what you got till about a month or two down the road. You know, you don't want to start off with problems, obviously. You know, so there's nothing wrong with going and get it inspected all right off the bat. But the main thing I would do if you're going to take it and get it inspected is I would want them to hook that thing to a computer and tell me what kind of codes it's had. Tell me what kind of regen cycle it's got. You know, if you've got one that's just doing constant regens, you probably got a problem. If you've got one that's had some major codes deleted, I would want to check and make sure that got repaired and those codes didn't just get, you know, deleted. And from that point, I would say a pre-trip, probably like the best pre-trip you will ever do on a truck is when you buy one. I mean, go through that joker with a fine-tooth comb. Spend as much time as it takes. Get underneath it. You know, get dirty. Get under there. see if the exhaust is rusted out, see if you got anything leaking underneath. You know, check your brakes real good, that type of stuff. You don't want to start off in a hole. Let's see, but like I said, it's kind of tough to it's just tough. It really is with a used truck. Like I said, it's like a scratch off lottery ticket. Let's see. Muscle Car Appraisal in the house. What's up, Muscle Car Appraisal? That's another good channel. Go check out Muscle Car Appraisal. Josh Crouch, number one, a motor. Let's see. DIY Semi. IKH says, so anything above Cascadia Evolution 16 or higher. Yeah, that would be a good starting point. If you're looking at a Cascadia, that would be my recommendation. Now, if you're a dead set, you hate Freightliners for whatever reason, I get it. My main thing when you buy a truck, the strategy I would want people to use is buy something that you like and you can be proud of. Like if you hate Freightliners and you're going to be miserable in the thing all day, don't buy it. Don't set yourself up for failure, I guess is what I'm saying. If you gotta have a Peterbilt, you gotta have a Kenworth, you gotta have a Volvo, find the best one of those you can find. But as far as my opinion, like 15, 16, 17 Cascadia Evolutions are everywhere right now. And freight's picking up, so the prices on the trucks are going to pick up a little bit, but you could probably still get them for under 40. I bought mine right at the beginning of COVID in March, so I stepped on a landmine. But it all worked out, you know what I mean? Like if I would have waited a month, I probably could have got a couple $1,000s knocked off of it, but I didn't want to wait. And I didn't know what was going on with COVID. You can't ever predict what's going to happen, months down the road. So, IKH, no. So, what did you buy? Yeah, that's what I got. Let's see. No, so ISX15, not bad thing. Is it a 10-speed? Let's see. Paul Harris says, love that expression of a lotto ticket with a truck. That's so right. Yeah, it's a scratch off. You got to buy it and wait. Basically, you got to buy it and scratch it, and then you know what you got. Because you never know beforehand. I look at there's channels on YouTube where these guys go to Lone Mountain and they buy a truck from Lone Mountain, and just take that one dealership. And I'm not bad mouthing and I'm not promoting, but I'm just using it as an example of how much of a crapshoot it can be. I've seen guys go to Lone Mountain, buy a truck, run the wheels off of it, never have any problems out of it. And then I've seen them where, they go get them inspected, they get them dynoed. I mean, they go through them, they do the whole gamut of, what you're supposed to do when you buy a truck. And, 2 months down the road, the transmission's out in the thing. You just never know. And that hour of dyno is not going to tell you everything, like it may make some codes flash if the truck's got a major problem, but I almost think just taking it out and, going down the freeway and, running it for an hour or so down the freeway will probably get you those same codes as dynoing it. Especially if you get where, there's not a lot of traffic, you slow down and you gain speed, you let it slow down, you gain, you just constantly put it through its, what it's supposed to do. Let's see. IKH, which year and how? But yeah, Cascadia Evolution 16 or higher. That's a good move. it's definitely something to look at. Then you just narrow it down. My advice would be buy it from a dealership or a fleet that runs the areas you're going to run as well. Because you don't want to buy a truck. Say a truck is if you're going to be running Texas, say you're going to be running like Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, there's not a whole lot of mountains in those areas. So you don't want to buy a truck that was built to run the Rocky Mountains. You don't want a high gear ratio. You don't want, you want a truck that's built for the area you're going to run. That's a big recommendation too. I know a lot of guys just go on Truck Paper and they do a nationwide search for the cheapest whatever they're looking for. That's not how I would buy a truck. And like I said, I'm not right all the time. I've bought lemons, or bought a lemon. But to me, buy the truck for the job you're going to do, first and foremost. Buy a truck you can be proud of. Buy a truck that you want to drive. Because you're going to be living in the darn thing most of the time. So make sure it's something you want. And then as well, sorry, I thought this guy was coming to tell me to put this truck. I'm already in a door. I just got to open the doors because I got a frozen food load and they didn't want me parked in the door with the doors open. But yeah, sorry, back to what I was saying. Stay on path. But yeah, truck you can be proud of, a truck you want to drive, you're cool with driving, that makes money, because what's the point of being out here if you're not going to make money? So it's like getting the right tool for the job, I guess you would say. You don't go get a framing hammer to drive a Phillips head screw. It can be done, but it's not going to look pretty, and it's going to be a tough job. Let's see. Paul Harris says, if I buy a truck, I would buy it in an area that I have a trusted mechanic. Yeah, that's me. I like buying from a dealership. I'm not a big fan of auctions. And I heard somebody have a quote that said, you sell trucks at an auction, you don't buy trucks at an auction. And I find that is probably true. I'm not saying you can't get a deal at an auction. I'm not, saying every truck at the auction's a bad deal. It turns it into way more of a crapshoot, though. For the couple thousand you can save buying a truck at an auction, you have a 50-50 shot of paying those thousands right back into the truck and having to get it repaired. Now, one strategy I do like, if y'all watch Calvin Leaks, go check out Calvin Leaks. He's got a channel. He's over at Landstar. He went over to where and bought trailers at an auction, but it wasn't like just trailers that had been sent to an auction. It was the company went out of business. So, when Cold Carriers and Interride and all that went out of business, he went over there and bought some trailers from them at an auction. See, that's a different story than just a regular auction trailer. That trailer's not at auction for any other reason other than the fact that the company that owned it didn't know how to manage a business. That type of auction, I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good strategy. But typical auction trucks, I'm not a huge fan of auction equipment. That's a personal preference of mine. I'm not saying it's right or it's better than anyone else's, but auction equipment's very tricky. I like to buy from a dealership that I have a relationship with and I can build a relationship with. It's just, it helps you out, especially if you're, new in the game, establish that relationship. Because I'll tell you right now, I was looking at this truck, and the guy that owns the carrier I'm leased to, he has a relationship with this dealership, and we went and looked at this. We went and looked at this truck. I had him go with me to look at this truck, I'd already went and looked at it, but whenever I was going to like actually buy it, I had him go. And yeah, I got a lot of extra little things thrown in just because he was there. So, you know, he's, I mean, he's probably bought 100 trucks from that dealership in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, they know him when he shows up there. You know what I mean? Like, he used to buy like 10 new trucks at a time from those guys. So, you know, it's like that relationship goes a long way. So, it's just a strategy I like. Um, you know, and whenever I go to trade this truck in, you know, I know the salesman there. I can call them. I can tell them what I'm looking for. And then, you know, whenever they get something that matches, you know, and they know this truck. You know, this truck comes to their dealership for service sometimes. You know, this truck was bought from their dealership, so I'm probably going to get a better deal when I trade it in at their dealership. Let's see here. I drove my tractor from Illinois to Georgia and got a 30-day drive-away permit. It could go that route and make some money, then played it. Okay, yeah. So, a 30-day drive-away permit. Do you get that from a dealer, or does that come from the licensing, or how does that work? No-so says 2015. Got it for $24,900 with 586,000 miles on it, and overhaul at 300,000. Sorry, had a little glitch there. Overhaul at 300,000. What kind of engine was that? Because man, that is low miles for an overhaul. It's at the iX15 you're talking about there, no so? Yeah. Yeah, man, overhauled at 300,000. Jeez Louise, what happened to that thing? Let's see. Not bad. No so. Is it a Cascadia? Where did you buy it from? If it's got an ISX in it, it's probably not a Cascadia. I'm trying to go back through the chat and see. Yeah, I don't see what it. Maybe I haven't got to it yet. Let me do the quick rundown here. I'm fitting to hop off here anyway. Let's see here. No so says thanks, Josh Crouch. I'll do that. Is it going to sit for about 3 months? I've only been driving for 10 months, waiting for my 1 year. Okay. IKH, it's a Peterbilt 579. Thanks. Rich Taco in the house. What's up, Rich Taco? Says, how can we find out what gear ratio a truck has? So it should, like, if you're looking at them online, that's one thing, like, whenever they're selling them, like, they should be telling you that. If not, there is a tag on the rear end itself. You'll have to get out there and probably clean it off, but it should tell you. I'm thinking, hang on one second. It may tell you in the glove box. I got a bunch of junk stuck in my glove box right now. I remember used to, most manufacturer would have like a little sticker in the glove box that told stuff like that. Like, you know, your gear ratio, your, you know, whatever, fuel tank size, all that. But I don't know if they still do it. I can't tell on that one quick enough. But I know there's a plate, like a little metal plate, like a decal plate on the rear ends that tells you. And that's if they haven't been changed. Because like I said, on my last Cascadia, I changed the gear ratio when I changed them. So, you know, if they haven't been changed, they're still the same. And most people change them back to whatever they were, you know. Let's see. Paul Harris, you haven't been live for a few days. I was forced to watch a rebuild of a yacht build in 1910 England. It's currently in Washington State. Okay, yeah, Friday was my last live, I think, if I'm correct on that. Rich Taco says, I have an old Werner Cascadia. All right. That's probably a good deal. Rich Taco. Okay, just read that one. I have an old Warner Cascadia. Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with how Werner upkeeps trucks. Like, I know these mega fleets, some of them, I ain't gonna say all of them, but I know like USA Truck, I was with them, they used to be really bad to put off service. But yeah, they would write it down like they did it. You know what I mean? That way when they traded in the truck, it would look like the services had been done when they had. But then like with Averett, Averett was a stickler, man. Like, you did not go over on oil changes there. Like, they made sure they got their stuff done. NOS, yes. Something with burning too much oil. Yeah, those ISXs, they had problems with those. The camshaft or something was getting like worn down on those. Let's see, Josh Crouch, DMV. Okay, so yeah, you get that permit at the DMV, that drive away tag. That's good info. No says don't think so. It was a full overhaul, just partial. Okay. Paul Harris, Google says, find the VIN of your vehicle. It can be found on the sticker on the inside of the driver's side door or stout metal plate embedded in the dashboard above the steering wheel. Okay. So that's how you would find that. That's one way to do it without getting dirty. Alright guys, I'm going to hop off here. I appreciate everybody coming in today, watching the live, hanging with me for a little while. If you're not subscribed, think about subscribing and subscribing. Let me learn how to talk. I gotta go in here and shake these guys up and figure out, how the heck I can get out of here, because it's already 10:39 and oh man, I hate when they do this. I book a good load, it never fails. Never fails. If I book a good load before I'm unloaded, the place I'm at kills me. IKH says IS versus DD15, which one is better? I prefer DD15. I prefer Detroit over at Cummings. Just personal preference. I don't know, just how I feel about it. But everybody will tell you something different on that. Most people will anyway. So, some people like their Cummings. I prefer Detroit, just the way it is. There's more of them on the road. Their parts are more readily available. They're cheaper to work on. I don't know. Just the way I see it. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Later. Take care of each other.